Thank everyone here for coming tonight. You could be doing something probably a lot more fun, no offense, Newt and Bob and Jennifer. No, it's such a great privilege to be with all of you. And I can't believe 14% of the people in this room actually support the proposition. I'm buying margaritas for all of you. The other people are totally out of it. So all you guys are the fun people. I'm actually thrilled to be here to support this proposition. And I'd like to begin with a quote, if you would indulge me, from March of this year. Here it goes. I've seen firsthand how effective Wall Street and big corporations are at wielding influence, using lobbyists, campaign donations, and subtle promises of future jobs to get the global deals they want. Global deals like the Trans-Pacific Partnership will boost the profits of Wall Street and big corporations and make the richest 1% even richer, but they'll contribute to the steady shrinkage of the American middle class. That quote was posted by Robert Reich, former Secretary of Labor for the Clinton administration, in our opposition tonight. Next, I'd like to quote a 2008 article about the decision of Electrolux. We used to have Electrolux vacuum cleaners in my house in Connecticut. We love them. To leave Greenville, Michigan. They're going to leave Greenville, Michigan for Mexico. Governor Jennifer Granholm was bitterly disappointed by Electrolux's decision to abandon Greenville. She had promised to persuade the company to stay, assembling a package of more than $120 million in state and local tax credits. The city offered to build the plant. The local union agreed to give up as much as $33 million a year in wages. They said, there is nothing you can do to compensate for the fact that we're able to pay $1.57 an hour in Mexico, Granholm recalled. That's when I started to say, quoting Governor Granholm, NAFTA and CAFTA have given us shafta. I like that line. I'm using it on my radio show on Monday. Let me be very clear. I didn't quote these statements to embarrass our distinguished opponents tonight. I really didn't. I quoted them to show that we actually share common ground. And I think it's important to state that even at a debate. Because lots of folks in Washington complain that we don't have enough bipartisanship and that people from different parties, they can't agree on policies to make the lives of the average Americans better. But when it comes to this issue of globalization, I believe people of good faith on both sides increasingly agree that the current global trading system does not work for blue-collar workers. So for years, people like Governor Granholm and Secretary Wright have warned about the harm that our trade policy is doing to American workers. And some of us on the Republican side, including people like Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama, have done the same. So we're not asking for protectionism. We're not asking for mercantilism. We're not opposed to all trade. We're simply asking for a system where American workers and businesses in America have a better chance to compete, where it's easier for American businesses to grow and expand, and for American workers to actually obtain higher wages. And after all, the United States is the largest and most attractive market in the world, and of all countries, we shouldn't be forced in the United States to enter deals that put our people at a disadvantage. But what's happened? Absolutely nothing, despite the common ground that a lot of Democrats, even people like Bernie Sanders, people like myself, obviously Donald Trump, at this very moment, President Obama is pushing yet another massive trade deal, the Trans-Pacific Partnership that Bob doesn't like. And this is the exact deal that he criticized in March of this year, and he's absolutely right in his criticism. But you know, and I know that everyone in this room knows, I would think, that Hillary Clinton, if she's elected president, this country, our country, the United States, will soon be bound by the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And it might happen in a lame duck session of Congress, and it may happen after Secretary of Clinton becomes, if she becomes president, makes a few minor tweaks to the deal, but it will happen. Why are we doing this if this puts us on a path to hurt so many Americans? And I'll tell you why. Because the same people who've kept the same gridlock in Washington for so many years are in favor of it. Because they've always been in favor of the things that benefit them. And it's usually the top 1% in the country, and it's usually big donors, and it's usually big corporations who have really fancy lobbyists who get paid a lot of money to eat fancy dinners in Washington, D.C. and wine and dine everybody at the Capitol. And then along comes Donald Trump. And Newt described him, I think, pretty accurately. He's a rough and tumble guy without any political experience, and he comes out and he calls everybody out on their blankety blank. And he does it in a way that is off-putting, and I think it's frankly terrifying to a lot of people. Because when you mess with their status quo, then they start getting really serious about fighting you. Donald Trump will not be beholden to big donors. He will not be beholden to Wall Street. Wall Street's endorsing Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton refuses to show her transcripts at her Goldman Sachs speeches. And I'd like to know why that is. We need a government that represents all the people, from no matter where they come from, no matter what color of their skin. And Donald Trump promises to do that. And I think a system that is... I still think Canadians are nice. We need to break the oligarchy in Washington, D.C. that has dominated the country, restore democracy, in which the voice of all the people is respected.